Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Won't be long. Got lunch in a little while, but on the road up in Iowa. This might be my first time in Iowa, and it's snowing. It's not snowing where I live, but come up here it's snowing. And coming up here for a speaking engagement, and you got to realize my first college speaking engagement where I spoke at a university was in 2007. And at that first speaking engagement, I was paid $65. It was Bethune-Cookman University. This one, at this one, I'm being paid $0. I told them I didn't want the money, just because it's a small school. When I Googled it, I think I Googled it last night, say only 900 students. So I just know the money can't be flowing like crazy. Yeah, they may have some state funds and they maybe could afford it, a couple grand, but I'll leave that for a speaker to come in who need that money to live, because that's what they're doing right now is speaking, or what have you. And to God be the glory that I'm not in that place to where I need that money to live. But I say that to say, not to brag or to boast, but I want to send a message to the people who coming up and you trying to build your business. We so quick to get arrogant. We're so quick to be entitled. We're so quick to look down on people, to have a certain thing. And I remember when now, it's different when that's what you're doing for a living. You got to be paid. And I remember going through a space to where I was turning down everything and I wasn't doing nothing. And hey, $5,000 I can't show up. $10,000 I can't show up. And it was professional gigs. And the thing about it is I also didn't feel purpose in those gigs. But when this is for the youth, this is for, the topic is with the Diversity Student Union. It's a topic about being a black man in our world, in our society, and do you play the game in order to make it, in order to be successful, or how do you navigate these waters? And I got one of my mentees on the panel with me. Asked him could he be on the panel. This will be his first college speaking engagement. I think he's 27. And it was around that time that I became like a full-time speaker almost. Like I started speaking more around 27. And so it's really sowing a seed in his life. And, I paid for our flights and our hotel up here. And it cost me about $3,000. So I count that toward my tithes. I count that as ministry, because I don't know who's going to be in this room that I'm speaking to that's going to go and do something amazing in the world and remember this interaction at their little, at this small 900 student college. My college felt extremely small, and we had 1,600 students. So I can't imagine what 900 students feel like. That's smaller than a high school. And so I say that to say, if you are claiming to be a Christian, you gotta be humble. You gotta have some part of your business that's sowing a seed, that's ministry. Everything can't be about money. Everything can't be about clout. Everything can't be about fame. You gotta have some stuff that you do that's from the heart. And I'm sharing this, I'm not posting about this on my Instagram or on my Twitter. Hey, I'm in Iowa doing a free speaking engagement. But I'm doing this with those who watch my videos, who watch my Sunday sermons, just to be an example, to let you know that, yes, 7 to 21, 15 years into my career, I'm doing a free speaking engagement 15 years into my speaking career. And it also go to show you how God will be with you and how he'll bless you and how he'll get you to a place to where you can sow. But you gotta have a sense of humility. You gotta operate with humility. And you gotta be in a place in your life to where not everything is about money, and it's a mindset shift. And I remember just seeing so many Christians being arrogant, being rude and nasty, looking down on people, shunning people. You couldn't reach the pastor in a church with 50 members. You couldn't reach the pastor. And I understand boundaries and stuff like that, but it come a time to where pastor ought to be able to stand out and shake hands and hug everybody. And you'll see some pastors, they won't do that. And this 30 years ago, this been since the beginning of time. And so one of the things that I said, if I want to be more like Christ, then I got to be humble and I got to be a servant. Now I'm very, discretionary. Like I read spirits, in a sense of I try to feel where somebody coming from. And you could tell when somebody coming with the wrong angle. And I put up boundaries. And if I have to respond to a woman in a message, I respond as an assistant. And just to put up a boundary. So I'm not saying don't have boundaries. But what I'm saying is make sure that you're always sensitive to the spirit and that you're operating from your heart and you're coming from a place of humility, so that even if you get to a place to where your services, your fees are exorbitant, that you still can, I don't know that word, but it just sounded good right there, so, forgive me, that you still can be sensitive enough to the spirit to where if the Lord say, hey, do this, sow this, go here, sow this, do this for free. And so the young man that told the school about me, he was a student at a high school where I was the school life coach. And I spoke to his class. And so he remembered me. And that's why he mentioned my name. But one of the things he's going to learn about this is a part of success, true success, real success, is humility. So he's going to see like, wow, here is this man who I see as a successful black man who lives at the bottom of the country, come all the way up to a whole nother state where it's snowing to speak to maybe 5 kids. They say they could have up to 100 in there, but I highly doubt it. But that'll be a lesson for him. And so I say that to say, and even with my mentee, it's a lesson for him. Because, and this is what I was talking about in my message earlier that I posted to YouTube, scarcity versus abundance. So in a scarcity mindset, you would say, oh no, I absolutely cannot go there. I cannot do that. I'm not going up there to that state. It's snowing. No, we'll do Zoom. I can't afford to spend that money. I'm not going to spend that. Yes, I could have used this money other ways. Yes, this money that was spent to get up here sitting in my account will look real nice, but it's spent. That's an abundant mindset. I know it's coming back. And I know it's going to come back tenfold. May come back 100-fold. May come back 1,000-fold. But I know it's coming back. And I realize money is gone, money comes. You make money every day, you spend money every day. It's in and out. It's a revolving door. So it's not like you spend the money and it's never coming back. No, it's going to come back. But what you're doing by serving and by being humble, you can't put a price tag on that. That is priceless. And you don't know what that work is going to turn into. You don't know what it's going to do. You don't know who it's going to touch. You don't know who they will become. And you don't know how that's going to come back around to you. So in everything, we have to be able to serve. And we got to be able to serve without clout. We got to be able to serve without recognition. We got to be able to have a heart that nobody have to know about, unless you ministering to somebody like I'm ministering to you. But we don't need a billboard for it. We ain't got to post it all on social media to a bunch of random spirits who it's not going to benefit them. You share it with your inner circle. You share it with the people that come to your page or come to you for insight or wisdom or support or guidance or whatever it may be. But outside of that, it's between you and God, because your blessings come from God. And so I just want to remind you to humble yourself. Humble yourself. And to know that God is watching and that God is real. I was praying for a certain position. I was praying I needed a certain independent contractor. I ain't going to say it because now that I'm saying it, people will be emailing in. And I've been thinking about it the last 2 weeks. Man, I need this person. Man, I need this person. Man, I need this person. And I happened to open up the email on the plane right when we was getting ready to take off. I happened to open up the email in my jobs email where people write in to the jobs email. And there was a lady who is the perfect fit because she's 50 years old. So that means I could work with this young lady, but she's 50 years old. So she's only 8 years younger than my mom. So it's not a possibility for me to be attracted to her. Now, I know I done seen some 50-year-olds in the comments dating men in their 30s. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. But it ain't gonna be a possibility for her to be attracted to me. So I could work with her and I could talk to her, and I don't say that literally. We all know that it's always a exception to the rule. But this is outside of the realm. Like, it's totally different if I'm working with a woman who 25, 30, 35, and I know what she look like and she know what I look like. If you working, closely on projects, feelings can arise. So I don't like to do that. And the women I work with as independent consultants is virtually. We don't work on Zoom. We don't work in person. It's virtually. I keep that like that because humans gonna human. And so this lady, she in Washington, D.C. She's 50 years old. And in the area of expertise that I was looking for, she has a PhD. It took me a long time to get through her CV, which I didn't know stand for curriculum vitae. I don't know if it's pronounced vitae, but it took me a long time to get through that. I'm like, this woman is credentialed and experienced. Hopefully she humble. Sometimes people, be arrogant and they be hard to work with, and then you realize why they be in the situation they be in. And it be because of their personality. Make sure that's not you. Make sure you're not in the situation you in because you hard to work with, because you too high on yourself, because your nose in the air, because you think you're worth more than you are, because you're too arrogant. And I done been that person. And so I had to check myself. So hopefully she humble and I can work with her. So I'm gonna give her a test job, and we'll see how things go. And it's right at a time where I'm getting ready to venture and start a new company and gonna need somebody in this role. And person could become a full-time job, could become a six-figure job. But it won't be monotonous or anything like that. That reminded me God real. Because I never really go in that email. I never pay attention to what's in there. Because I don't work with a lot of people. And so I went in there and look at my mentee. We getting ready to go to lunch. I'm on here working. He, without being told, without being asked, he walking out to the car to crank it up, get the heat on, and he gonna drive it up to the front of the hotel, and I could see him. That's servanthood. That's humility, and that's what I'm talking about. And that's why God gonna use them, and that's why God gonna elevate them. A lot of people ain't like that. A lot of people ain't like that. I got another homeboy that I work with, that I travel with. I had to go to his room and knock on his door. I had to wait on him like he the talent. But this right here, this a different mentality. And that's going to serve him well. It's going to benefit him, and it's going to bless him in his life. So I say that to say, we got to do better. And we got to know God is watching. We got to know God is real. You got to know He's going to meet your needs. You got to know He's going to show up when you least expect it. And we got to have our hearts in a position of humility. Have our hearts in a position of service. And just like when I'm on anywhere I go, I'm looking to shoot a video, to serve, to get another message out, to help somebody take another step forward. And it ain't about me. It ain't about showing my life. It ain't about none of that. It ain't about this being my own personal channel or vlog or nothing about that. It's my mind is focused on service. And I want the people who watch every video, I want them to be able to see a change in their life. I want them to be able to look back and see how far they've come by watching these videos. And that's the goal. That's the goal. So, hey, getting ready to go. Think about this. This means something different to each person. And it's some things the Spirit gonna say in your spirit that I didn't even say out my mouth. But sit with it and let your heart be renewed. Let your heart be worked on. Let your heart be shaped and molded to be in a position that you can be used, that you can be elevated in the workplace, meaning elevated in the field, elevated in the spiritual battle that we in, that you could be used on the front line. Make sure your heart in the right place. Hey, this is Tony Gaston. God bless you. We'll talk soon.